an expert in terrorism. And he is going to speak about secret papers that have been found that show for the plans of terrorist organizations to destroy the United States of America. And it won't be a secret anymore. My guest, Eric Steckelbeck, is one of the foremost experts in terrorism. And you've probably seen Eric on CNN or on Fox or a number of different shows in which he's a resource for what's going on in the world. But the thing that just absolutely astounds me is I knew something about a terrorist group called the Muslim Brotherhood, but I had no idea, Eric. Tell me a bit about the Muslim Brotherhood. Why does the media or administration posture them as moderate? What's the reason for that?
Well, Sid, first of all, their tactics. They dress like you and I. They wear suits and ties. They are eloquent. They are Western educated. They speak fluent English. This is not Al-Qaeda. These are not the guys with the flowing beards and the robes and the AK-47s. The Muslim Brotherhood are very charming, Sid, and I've interviewed them face to face. I've been in their homes. I've been in their mosques. I've been in their offices. And Sid, if I didn't know any better, I would actually like them. They are quite charming, but that charming facade and veneer hides a sinister agenda, Sid. And at the end of the day, they share the same goals as Al-Qaeda.
Well, you know what it reminds me of as you're sharing this, Eric, the KKK. They used to wear the robes, and now they put on business suits. And so are they college educated?
Sid, not only are they, yes, Sid, not only are they college educated, many of them have been educated in the West, in the United States, in Europe. People would be shocked to know about the Muslim Brotherhood presence in the United States. Sid, they are here. I'll give you a great example. Mohammed Morsi, the now deposed Egyptian president, he joined the Muslim Brotherhood not in Egypt, but in the United States, in California, when he was a student at USC, the University of Southern California. That's where Mohammed Morsi became a Muslim brother. Sid, they are here in the United States.
Now, you say they're a new breed beyond the suit. They're raising homegrown terrorists? What do you mean?
Sid, we've seen case after case over the past few years in the United States, dozens of cases of young American Muslims, U.S. citizens, being arrested on terrorism charges. Sid, I'll give you a great example of this Muslim Brotherhood-style link and how they're really the driving force behind all the Islamic terror we see today. The Boston bombers, those two young brothers up in Boston, killed 3 people, wounded 264 more. Sid, they attended a mosque in the Boston area controlled by a Muslim Brotherhood-linked group. Surprise, surprise.
Now, I heard in the news that the Muslim Brotherhood has been out to the White House at least 100 times in the last calendar year.
You said Muslim Brotherhood connected individuals. Individuals with strong ties to the global Muslim Brotherhood network absolutely are advising our government, the U.S. government, on its counterterrorism and Middle East policies. This is the epitome of the fox guarding the henhouse. And you wonder why America's Middle East policies right now are kind of a mess and we see all this chaos in the Middle East. We have the bad guys, the Brotherhood, in the halls of power, in our lawmakers' ears.
All right, you use the phrase, they're the granddaddy of all terrorism. Do you really mean that, Eric?
Sid, I mean it 100%. All of the terrorist chaos, the madness we see today, the war on terror, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, spawned by the Muslim Brotherhood, Sid. Al-Qaeda is an offshoot of the Brotherhood. Hamas is an offshoot of the Brotherhood. And Sid, I've made the point many times that without the creation of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt in 1928, there would have been no 9/11. I say that without hesitation. It may shock some people, but everyone behind the 9/11 attack, Sid, and the American people need to know this, why this group is so important, the Brotherhood. Osama bin Laden, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the hijackers, every last one of them, Sid, before they formed Al-Qaeda, they belonged to the Muslim Brotherhood. The Brotherhood is really the gateway drug to Islamic terrorism and jihad.
What is going on in America? I see mosques just sprouting up all over.
Sid, this is not a coincidence. I'm so glad you brought this up because the number of mosques in America, a lot of our viewers might not be aware of this, the number of mosques in America has actually doubled since 2000, since the year 2000. Now, if you look at the Muslim Brotherhood strategic documents, and by the way, Sid, these mosques are not just in New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, areas with large Muslim populations. They're popping up in the Bible Belt, taking overseas funding. Why, Sid, if you have such a small Muslim community, why do you need such a large, sprawling mosque complex? The imams, and I've interviewed them, they can't answer, and they also can answer where the money is coming from.
Okay, why do they need so many in these small areas?
Sid, if you look at the Muslim Brotherhood strategic documents, and by the way, people might be shocked to know that our government, the U.S. government, has the Muslim Brotherhood's documents in its possession. These secret documents, Sid, that I've written about. Long story short, during the raid of a leading global Muslim Brotherhood operative's home, just outside of Washington, D.C., 10 minutes from our capital, this guy had set up shop. The FBI raided his home. They uncovered these secret Muslim Brotherhood documents that outline a strategy to, quote, destroy Western civilization, America, from within. And one way they're going to do that, Sid, according to their own documents, is to build mosques from coast to coast. This is a central tenet of the Brotherhood strategic plan to subvert America from within.
And how come there's these schools of Islam springing up at major universities? I mean, how does Harvard have a school of Islam? It used to be a Jewish university.
Yeah, right.
How's Georgetown, a Catholic university, have all these schools?
It's the money, Sid. Look at the money trail. This Georgetown Islamic branch you discussed at Georgetown University, a Catholic university, $20 million. Harvard, $20 million, came from the same man, a Saudi prince. And the Saudis are the main purveyors, you would say, of spreading radical Islam worldwide. And it's very interesting. They have billions of dollars in these petrodollars, Sid, with this oil empire they have in Saudi Arabia. And they are missionaries in many ways, spreading Islam throughout Europe, throughout America, billions and billions of dollars over the past few decades. And they have worked with the Muslim Brotherhood, by the way. The Saudis provide the money. The Brotherhood provides the imams and the ideologues at these mosques. That has been the blueprint traditionally. Very interesting strategy they have.
One last question. Is it true that the Quran says when you're small, when Islam is small, be peace-loving. Once you get larger, take over?
This is the example of Muhammad himself, Sid. It's absolutely true. When Muhammad was not a political leader, when he was just a struggling so-called prophet in the city of Mecca, Muhammad was more conciliatory towards Jews and Christians. He wanted to win them to his side. Later on in his career, Sid, he went to the city of Medina, became a warrior, a political leader. All of a sudden, his so-called revelations changed and became more violent and more intolerant of Christians and Jews. Once Muhammad gained the power, he became much more intolerant and violent towards non-Muslims.
I want to talk about these secret documents when we come back.